Indeed, sauropods are a bit boring gameplay, but they are quite strong and it requires a good pack of your chosen and assigned theropod dinosaur to hunt you to take you down. And haven't you noticed that the Jurassic map, especially in the Sequoia Forest, has recently reserved the TLC on it? I mean, there's so much shrubbery and more trees as well, so it's kind of refreshing to see Jurassic get a TLC sometimes. While reading global chat, I was informed that there is a pack of Saurophs that want to have fun on taking down Brachiosaurus or any sauropod. Of course, I would like to have that offer, so we had discussed a few rules during this friendly battle. Of course, the first one is that it will be a 3 against 1, so 3 Saurophs versus me, an Elder Brachiosaurus. Second rule was not to use the surrounding terrain for my advantage, so using cliffs to cover my tail base and using the water or deep waters to water camp. And of course, since Brachiosaurus is too good for just a few pack of Saurophs, they are allowed to heal and swap, but they are not allowed to swap their dinosaurs entirely. Just going out to heal and maintain their well-being is allowed. Meanwhile, the last rule would be me to not to safe log to menu while the battle is ongoing, since at first we discussed it will be to the death. And I hope that you will enjoy this very long fight. I did do my best to cut out the best parts and the boring parts. I hope you won't judge my PvP skills as a sauropod player, but not to brag, but I survived tons of sauropod hunting, playing Apatosaurus, Sauroposeidon, and of course Brachiosaurus in the past. Hopefully you will learn something from this very long and grueling fight, and I hope you enjoy. So I didn't do a voiceover on this or a live voiceover since this was shot first before I got my PC. So what you're seeing now is just from my old laptop footage. Gladly, the Saurophs respected my time and didn't attack me while I was lagging back there. But here, we start the fight. And no, that is not your screen or your device lagging, it is actually my footage or during the gameplay of this. I even told them about the lag and yeah, they were quite understanding about it. I actually didn't know that Brachiosaurus' head hitbox would be reached even as it was bending to eat some food. Because as you might know, I'm already infected with fever. So I did my best to try and edge drink and edge eat at the nearby food and water from this point on. So yeah, that's something that you learn every day. That's something new. At this point, I was mildly panicking because the lag was constant, like every 5 minutes during the fight, so I was now having second thoughts on taking up this offer. But I still remain during the battle, see how far I can go, even with the lag. One of the common tactics used by sauropod hunters is roar baiting, where they would just aggro roar at you, trying to trigger you for a response. But as you can see, I didn't really fall for it because I already know that roaring would disable your attacks even during animating. But I'm pretty sure that there are leeways and some loopholes across that. I know that you have to press, I think, the friendly or broadcast call together with your aggro call to still use your attack, or you'll be able to still use your attacks. But I'm not really that kind of player. I'm not really used to it. As much as I tried to drink water and eat, I mean, especially drinking water, the Saurophs are always at my head, trying to anticipate where I will drink and bite my head off. But luckily, you can still cancel it by just a little movement. So they couldn't really hit me back there. And yes, there are still lag and frame drops during this fight. And here you can see that they even landed not just a few but a whole bar chunk of my total health, even with the bleed. So that was mildly infuriating in my part. So if you wanna play Saurophs, just make sure to back it up as they would attack your tail base, because there is trample damage in the game, guys. Don't ever forget that. But when you're playing Diplodocus, however, I don't think they can trample Saurophaganaxes anymore. I don't know if they can still trample Torvosauruses though. I might have to experiment on that later on. So that was the first siege of their attacks against me until I got most of them low. Just low enough for them to go retreat and heal, however. As you can see that I could have very well logged out of here if none of their packmates could have guarded me. But as I said, they were a smart pack and had two of them rest and heal, while having one of their packmates to keep me in battle or in combat, or just trying to keep me on my toes as I heal and eat and drink. As you can see, he did his best to avoid me from drinking a lot, but as I tried to edge drink the animation of Brachiosaurus, I still get some water off of it. I even tried to bait him to come close to my legs so I could kick him in the face. So if you're not a regular sauropod, theropod dinosaur player, so this is one way to, you know, actually hunt sauropods. Make sure you have infection and try not to keep your eyes off the prize, especially at your target. When my fever dropped down right here, I could have easily combat logged, but we have rules and I want to see how far I can go with this very good pack. As I ate and almost nearly filling up my hunger and thirst, I sense that his packmates are now ready for another battle. I actually don't know which one of them are elder and adult based on their sizes, but from that one siege of their continuous attacks, that got me down 2 bars less than before. Here they even tried to bait me to use my attacks because of course we have cooldowns, but luckily with the extra trample damage that could help me quite a bit. Now there are 2 of them guarding me, preventing me from drinking water and eating as much trees as possible, while having one of their packmates, specifically the default Saurophaganax from earlier, now to heal up. seeing that I am now 3 bars less of my health remaining, I plan to change tactics right here. Since I could use the very thick foliage of the new TLC of the Sequoia Forest to my advantage, I plan to use the Sequoia trees as cover as much as I can, and hopefully get one of them trapped on one of the assets or the trees, so I can land a few good hits. Plus, I could use the river or creek for extra defense. And here is how I've done it. I tried to get inside this very thick shrubbery, and when they thought I wasn't paying attention or was stuck, I struck. I mean, it's kind of smart, but actually kind of risky as well, because you might get stuck here yourself, which poses as a threat and a very huge window for these Saurophs to constantly bite your tail and kill you easily. This is the 3rd time that their fever infection has worn off, but that just gives me a few amount of HP to heal up slowly. Now I only have 2 bars of health left, so I still gotta be careful. And now that I'm seeing that my cleanliness is slowly getting low, which is very bad for me by the way, because the infection and their damage is gonna be also higher from before. So right here I was trying to use the cliffs, the deep waters in this very rickety river trench to try and take a bath at some point, and of course drink water. And here is another instance of me using the trees to my advantage. Since they cannot look up, I have a better vantage point and landed a few good hits at them. Like a surprise attack but for sauropods, which was pretty fun and it worked twice already. At this point in the fight, I am now re-evaluating my choices. Either I get rid of this 12-hour grinded Brachiosaurus, or I just call it quits and surrender, and hopefully the pack will spare me. But that will happen later in the video, but at this point in the video, or while I was recording in the fight, I was now thinking, was it really worth it of sacrificing this Brachiosaurus? I mean, I don't want to regrow it again to Elder just to grab some benefits when Recode comes out, like the regrowth benefits and compensation tokens and all that jazz. And again, the shrubbery or the tree hiding ambush worked again. I got another hit on him. And here I was now desperate for cleaning myself. I did my best to find the deepest trench on, trying to get them trapped if ever they want to attack. Luckily they didn't reach my tail base here, but it was still kinda risky. I was now desperate to clean myself at least because it goes down lower by the minute. and that is just gonna give me, or just gonna put me in a very terrible position. But unfortunately, I was not able to clean as much, and they infected me yet again. At one point, I conceded and told their pack leader, however, that I am now surrendering and admit that I have lost this fight, since I know that at the pretty end, I'm gonna die anyway. And it's not really worth it losing a Brachiosaurus over this. And at the end, it was just a friendly competition. But when I saw him getting stuck, I was like, yeah, let's get him. And here we said our GG's. Luckily they spared me, and it was a very fun battle. But I guess not all of his packmates knew that the fight was over. Anyways, to whoever these Sauroph players are, GG's, and thanks for the very good fight. And now I can finally rest easy and find a place to put my well-being back up again and try to heal. But let me tell you that this is not over yet. Because I knew that their pack was just an invite-only one, and I found these two other Saurophagnax coming to approach me. I do not know that if they witnessed the fight or not, but I only have a bar of HP left. That is nearly just 5,000 of HP, and I cannot risk losing this Brachiosaurus. And I was warned by the other Sauroph pack that I was up against earlier, yes. But don't worry guys, because I survived, luckily. I logged out in time, and by the time of editing this video, my Elder Brachiosaurus is now at full health. So I can finally get it for the compensation for recode soon. So that's it for my very intense Brachiosaurus fight. Well, obviously, when you are fighting a Brachiosaurus or a Sauroph pack, it wouldn't be this easy, but it is quite similar, because we had rules to apply. Some Brachiosauruses might water camp or use the cliffs and terrain, while other Saurophagnax won't be very friendly to you, and there'll be more than 4 mega packing, or they're switching dinosaurs, but so they could preserve their health and whatnot. So obviously this kind of fight is not 100% accurate, but is very near to the real deal. I hope that you enjoyed the fight, even though it was very long, and hopefully you picked up a tip or two from me in this fight, both Saurophagnax players and Sauropod players. Well, that's it for my Brachiosaurus fight. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time.